I'm the Doctor. I'm always running. I'm always fighting. I never stop. I never stop.
Is anybody there?
Welcome back. That was the trailer for Doctor Who Meets the Scorpion, which should be available around spring next year. Is that about right?
Hopefully, yeah. You know, obviously, I'm at the mercy of outside editing process. You know,
Yeah.
but that's sort of the aim. Late spring. You know, I really wouldn't want to push it any further past, you know, the second quarter,
Yeah.
or second half of the year.
Tell me about it, because as you know, my film was almost 7 years in post-production.
Yeah.
Not because it took 7 years to make it brilliant. It was just like things weren't available, people weren't available. The
Yeah.
whole country shut down a few times.
Yeah.
You know, and there was endless problems that you had to fix. You know.
Yeah.
But what I want to do now is go back, as James Brown said, back into time, and just talk a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? How did you get into acting? And you know, what are your plans for the future? But let's start about, how did you get into the acting game?
Well, I suppose I've always been creative, but when I was a teenager, it was more music. So I'm a drummer in bands and things like that. And then I got to a certain age, I think it was my early 30s, and I got bored of dragging drum kits upstairs at 3 a.m. So packed them away, and they never got unpacked again. But I always yearned for something, that creative thing was still burning. You know, I did a bit of painting, a bit of drawing, but nothing was really what I would call a passion. And then I think it was when Doctor Who started filming in Cardiff, you know, when they revived it in 2005. And then one of my friends said that they'd actually been on it as a background extra. And I thought, well, you know, this is a dream come true if I could get on Doctor Who.
A lot of people, the both of us know, have, you know, fair play to Doctor Who. They scoured the area with locations and people. And we all know someone who's been in Doctor Who, or whatever. I mean, I had a cameo in the first episode of the first story of Torchwood, first season of Torchwood.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Blink and you miss it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, so what's the first sort of acting stuff that you did?
As background, obviously I signed up to the agency which supplied backgrounds to Doctor Who. But the first thing I did was an episode of Sherlock.
Okay.
In Swansea, and it was the trial of Moriarty, and I played a cameraman, filmed from the back.
Yeah.
As an interviewer was talking to camera, outside the court. You know,
Okay.
Moriarty is this,
Yeah.
and then a couple of very deep background things. And told all my friends, and they all watched it, and I think they caught about that much of my elbow.
I know.
But it was great fun. And then, you know, the usual Casualty, a few other things I did.
I got to ask though, with things like Casualty and Sherlock, did you get to meet or talk with any of the main stars?
I, on my first Sherlock, I was in the dinner queue behind Mark Gatiss.
Yeah.
So he turned around and said hello, and then I sort of said I think we had the same childhood. We talked about, you know, the old horror double bills on a
Yeah.
Saturday night,
Yeah.
and so he was absolutely lovely. So that was nice. Yes, obviously, as I did more and more, you do sort of bump into. I did a couple of Poldarks, got introduced to Aidan Turner because I was in a scene with him which they didn't use.
See, I think Aidan Turner would have made a good Doctor.
Yeah,
He's
I
got
think
that
so.
intensity.
Yeah, he's a good actor, and he's a really nice guy. Actually, really nice.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, I've done many years of extra work as well, and every on the occasion I've had able to meet some of the big stars, etc. Most of them, well, all of them bar one, have been nice,
Yeah.
and I don't mind naming and shaming. I met Bob Hoskins,
Bob Hoskins.
down in Penarth.
All right.
This was for a feature film called Outlaw. There's a Sean Bean. Dan,
Oh, I remember that.
I
Yeah.
think Danny Dyer's in it as well.
Yeah.
And I was in it. I was playing a cop, sort of crowd control cop.
Yeah.
And I had full copper gear on. Again, blink and you'll miss me, but I am in it. And it was pouring down with rain.
Yeah.
And Bob was standing on his own in between takes with a cup of coffee that was getting rained in.
Yeah.
And they gave me a brolly to keep, and I had full police outfit on, hat, fluorescent jacket. I was not getting wet, so I just ran over with a brolly and said, "I think you want to stand under this, Bob."
Yeah.
"Oh, thanks very much." And he was great. And I thought, one of the third AD or second AD is going to come over now and say, "Oh, don't talk to the talent." I'm like, well, he's an award-winning legend.
Yeah. And
of
someone else should be
cinema,
doing this.
and someone else should be doing it. No one thought to put a brolly over him, but he was really nice. But one of the first jobs I did was Second Sight, which was a BBC show with Clive Owen, a crime drama.
Oh, okay.
And I played an ambulance chap, and we basically had to carry a woman out of her house into the back of the ambulance. And halfway through the scene, just before we get to the ambulance, Clive Owen walks up to Art Malik, whose wife is on the stretcher, and he says, "Don't say a word to anyone. I'll call you." And then they walk away. So we did a few takes of that, and it was 10 o'clock at night, and it was cold, but I had a full paramedic gear on.
Yeah.
And every time we did the take and got into the ambulance and closed the doors, they'd wait a few seconds, and that'd be the end of the scene.
Yeah.
And I'd be having a chat with Art Malik, and he's brilliant. He was really nice. He
Yeah.
said, "Oh, you're a real paramedic." I said, "No, I'm an artist." "Oh, really? What do you do? What do you paint?" But Clive Owen nearly put me off acting completely.
Oh, really?
I mean, at one point we're standing there just waiting for them to set something up, and it's a bit cold, and someone runs up to Clive Owen and puts a coat round him, as they do, you know.
Yeah.
And I looked up at Clive and said, "Oh, this is good, isn't it?" That's all I said.
Yeah.
And he turned around and went, "Oh, for fuck's sake," and just walked away. He just looked down his nose at me and walked away.
Oh, really?
I'm like, wow.
Well, you know,
I
so
did,
Clive
I
Owen
did bleep out the F word.
who's given.
I mean, this was before he
Give
did
the
things
coats.
like Sin City and bigger films.
Yeah.
I think he had the ego. You hear about, you know, he was sort of hoping to be James Bond and stuff.
Yeah,
but
maybe that's why he didn't get it.
well, maybe he wasn't a team player. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I like He's good in Sin City, but
Yeah, I think.
but
He does. I haven't seen him in much. Lately.
and also I will concede that some actors have bad days,
Yeah.
and you can't be all things to all people all the time.
Yeah, but I've had bad days, and
You've got to try and
I've never snapped at someone.
No, you-
who you know, you might snap at someone who's just spoilt your scene or whatever.
sure.
Not that I ever did that.
Do a Christian Bale on.
Yeah, and to be honest, now that I've acted a bit, I sort of understand. I don't condone it, but I understand it.
Yeah,
When you just blow, but you know, I've been doing.
Well, there's a lot
where
on your
someone's
mind.
literally, you know, like the father of another actor who's just tagged along, and suddenly there was one scene I was giving this performance, and I could see this guy like picking up chairs, you know, because he wanted to get himself a chair, and
Just
and the
distracting
chairs
him.
were making the noise, and he didn't want that chair, and then.
And it starts
then
scratching in your brain.
I
then.
lost my thing. I said, "Oh God!" No, and it was really it was really distracting. I didn't shout at him, but
I shouted on.
internally I did.
I shouted. I was trying to direct a scene, and I'm not going to go into too many specifics, but everyone who knows will know. Basically, one of the actors who wasn't in the scene decides to have a really loud phone call
Oh God.
20 feet away from the camera. Yeah, all right, hey, yeah, I'm outside. I'm doing a film. Yeah, and you go,
Yeah, on set
have
etiquette.
some
Yeah.
awareness, and I lost it. I absolutely lost it, and I did apologise. But things were never the same after that.
Yeah.
But to who?
Yeah. So I was just going to say, so that was background acting. Was obviously you're not doing lines on or something. And then one of my friends who was a background actor, they were doing a local panto, and they said, "Oh, you know, we're short of like the dad character in Dick Whittington. Does anyone fancy doing it?" I thought, "Oh, I don't think I've ever acted really. I didn't do it. I never did drama in school or anything like that." So I thought, "Oh, I'll go along." And just out of circumstances, someone had to drop out, so I got bumped up from the very small part as my first acting role to the Dame,
Yeah.
and thought I really enjoyed this. So I started getting some lessons, and then things moved on, and I started doing some student films and things like that. Got a job and started taking some lessons, some acting lessons, more towards the TV and film style acting, and then just got into it from that really. So that was how I got into acting. Yeah.
But then something came along in New Who.
Oh, yeah.
So let's.
Well, like I said, I started doing background acting to get hopefully
As close as possible. To
yeah,
Doctor
onto
Who,
onto Doctor Who, and I kind of had a thing with Doctor Who. Sometimes you get booked, and then someone will become unavailable, so they'll move the date back.
Right.
But instead of keeping the same extras and saying, "Oh, look, you were available for this. Are you still available?" They'll just go to a whole new set. And so if they unless they want you specifically for something.
Yeah.
So if you're just like generic crowd, sometimes they'll just find another generic crowd when they reschedule it, which is hugely frustrating. When you've told everyone, "Oh, Doctor Who."
Yeah, and they just go, "Oh, we don't need you for that day," and they get another bunch of people in.
So I managed to get on it. I think the first one I did was Matt Smith's Bells of St. John, and there's a scene where I think it's the Great Intelligence. They don't tell you at the time, but the Great Intelligence basically sends some signal on a jumbo jet, and everyone on the jumbo jet is unconscious, so it's going to crash. And
So you played an unconscious passenger?
so you see my head doing that from the back. From the back, you know that thing where you get a screenshot and you literally circle it and say, "That's my head."
Yeah.
That's what I was doing to all my friends or on Facebook. So that was the first thing, and then I got called to play a monster on Matt Smith. Although they didn't tell me too much about it. And then again, a day before, the other thing they said was, "Just check it. Are you claustrophobic? Because you'll be inside." So, no, I'm fine. I mean, even if I was claustrophobic, it's Doctor Who, so
You
you
pushed
must.
through.
Yeah, you must. You push through. So, and then literally the day before, they rang and said, "Oh, Phil, we've got to cancel you. They need you to be a certain height or something for this. You need to be over a certain height."
Right.
But I found out it was to be a Dalek. I think it was for Asylum of the Daleks where they started using background artists rather than just. So you can imagine, I'm hugely gutted over that.
I know.
Because I met literally about 3 days before. I met Matt Smith. They did a convention in the Welsh Millennium Centre.
Yes.
And I'd bought one of these things where you get a photo signed.
Yeah.
Meet him and get a photo signed. So I got it for my godchildren to get him signed for that. So I met him. I said, "I'm going to be with you next week. I'm playing a monster." And he, "Oh, great. He said, "Well, enjoy it. And of course, then I wasn't on it, and I was absolutely gutted, especially when I found out it would have been inside a Dalek.
Oh, man.
But then, sometime later, then I got a phone call saying, "Are you available?" Because they don't. When it's Doctor Who, they're very secretive about it.
Yeah.
So they sort of say, "Are you available next Wednesday?" Yeah. what is it? And then they might tell you, oh, it's Doctor Who close to the time. Well, they'd say, okay, we'll get back to you. So then they rang me a few days later and said, are you still available? Yes. Okay, you'll be doubling for someone, but they want you to shave your sideburns, which I've been attached to for many years. They've got their own agent. Saucer of milk now and again, they're happy as life.
Probably the same agent.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
my sideburns as well.
So I said, I thought it's Doctor Who. Yeah, I'll shave any part of my body.
Yeah. Tell me when to
As long
stop.
as it's not on screen.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah. So they said, right, meet down at the BBC studios down Cardiff Bay, 2:00 on a Wednesday. And so as soon as you get there, they send you into the cafe or the catering area, and you just wait there. And I spotted a couple of background artists I work with. Mickey Lewis, do you know Mickey Lewis?
Yes.
So Mickey does a lot of
Cybermen.
Cybermen, Daleks. He's done the whole things and does all the Marvel films and stuff like that. And so there was a couple of us there, and Mickey said to me, "Oh, so do you know which Doctor you're playing?" I went, "What?"
What?
I knew it was for Day of the Doctor, and I knew the Zygons were coming back. So in my head, in Terror Zygons, they have to have
A double.
don't they?
Yeah.
So I thought I'd be doubling for another actor
Yeah.
who'd been taken over by the Zygons.
Gotcha.
It never occurred to me that I'd be doubling for
A Doctor.
a Doctor. So I looked around the room and I thought, well, the height I am, it's
You're
either
not going to be Colin Baker.
No, I'm not going to be Pertwee. I'm not going to be Tom Baker. So it's either going to be Patrick Troughton or Sylvester McCoy. So in the end, it was Sylvester McCoy. But I was just, oh my God. And it was just...
It doesn't get
amazing.
better than
It
that,
doesn't get better
really.
than that,
Because none of us are going to get cast as the next Doctor. I mean, we all live in hope one day.
Yeah.
I think anyone who's done a fan film I played the Doctor in an audio once for an American audio company. And it was a little cameo. It was just, I was in the opening scene, but I get killed and it regenerates into a female Doctor, which was long before Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah.
It was an American production,
Yeah.
an American female Doctor. But it's that a little buzz and you go, if only I could play the Doctor. I think growing up, people of our ilk I'm fairly sure there's not a single person I know who didn't at once look in the mirror at themselves and go, my name is Bond, James Bond.
Yeah.
Because you think, how would I deliver that if I was ever cast?
Yeah.
And there's, hello, I'm the Doctor. And things like that.
Yeah.
But, it doesn't get much better than that. It's like to get to double. So you had to wear the full costume?
Yeah, so what they did, obviously they still had the Doctor Who Experience open at that point.
You're not going to say you had to have a green balaclava on, did you?
No, but
For a head replacement.
But we had to wait till about 5:30 till it shut, and then they brought all the costumes from on display for us to wear.
Right.
We'd been into hair and makeup, so they got us these ridiculous wigs. So we're there literally wearing a sort of what do they call it when you get out of the bath and you put
like a bathrobe.
Bathrobe. So we're wearing a bathrobe, and a ridiculous wig.
Did the costume fit you quite well?
Yeah, it fitted really well actually. I think they obviously picked me because I was a similar height, but I think there was an anomaly on when I got measured once a year when you sign up with the acting agency, the extras agency. They do a measurements, in case you put on a bit of beef on your tummy or whatever. And I think when they did it, they had me down as 5'6". I think I'm around 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah.
So because of that, I lost the Dalek role because I was too short. And for some now, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
In the old days, they wanted shorter actors.
Traditionally,
but because
smaller actors.
Because the Daleks are a little bit bigger now, you had to be over something like 5'7", 5'8".
Well, I've got a friend, Matt Doman, who's
Matt's
been in
right,
lots of stuff, and he played the yellow Paradigm Dalek, and he's a 6-footer.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like,
guys.
just my luck. Growing up, I've always been like 5'7" 3/4" or something, and it's like I'm either too short for something, and the one role would be like make me a Dalek or make me a Sontaran.
But then when I had a photo with Sylvester at a convention, and I know we shrink as we get older.
Yeah.
But he was a couple of inches shorter than me.
Okay.
So I think what happened was losing the Dalek gig, being down as 5'6", lost me the Dalek gig.
Okay.
Being the wrong height, put down. But it got me the Sylvester McCoy gig.
So, yeah.
Because if they'd had me down at 5'8", they probably wouldn't have got me.
Right.
So because I was nearer on paper his height,
So that worked out.
so
quite
that worked
well.
out pretty well. You know,
Yeah.
So I lost out as Dalek, but I played the Doctor. So, so it was great fun. Yeah, I mean, wearing the costume, and the great thing about it was, and I've told this story a few times, but they brought us onto the set, and they said just in the studio. So we saw the outside of the TARDIS set.
Yeah.
And they said David and Matt are still just finishing off a scene, and so they were over by the TARDIS police box, and we were all waiting there in costume at the far end of the studio, and then they shouted cut or whatever, and David Tennant just looked over, did a double take, and he's nudging Matt Smith.
Look, it's all of them
It's
over
all
there.
over,
Yes.
So when we got brought on, he was just like a kid in a sweet shop. There's normally a no photos policy.
Yeah.
Don't bring any cameras on.
No.
But David Tennant he was just snapping away. Like
Well, when David Tennant decides to take
Yeah.
photos, no one's going to tell him
no,
not
because
to.
because they know he's not going to put it on his socials.
Yeah.
So he was just really, really over the moon as a Doctor Who fan.
Because
himself.
the finished shot was a big blacked out set, lots of sort
Yes,
of
it was.
dry ice and stuff. Was all that on set as well?
Yeah, so what they did, they made a little wooden wall about that high, painted it black. The rest of the set, sets, the studio would be painted black anyway. I don't
Yeah.
think they did it especially. It's always painted black. But they built this sort of like surrounding wall.
Because the dry ice is heavy, isn't it? And it
Yeah,
sits in-
but unless you've got something to contain it, it'll just disperse.
Right.
So that kept it in, and then they brought John Hurt on set.
Wow.
So suddenly you've ticked the box as being on set with Matt Smith and David Tennant, and suddenly
John Hurt walks in.
one of the most well-respected actors in the
Ever.
country ever,
Yeah.
British actors, comes on, and so they sort of lined us up. So I said hello. I was quite near, so I said hello to him. They lined us up, and then if you watch the program, there's a shot from the back,
Yeah.
and there's a shot from the front. And if
Yeah.
you look at those different shots, the Doctor Who's are in a different order.
Okay.
It doesn't match up. It's a really weird. I know it's supposed to be a dream sequence. And what they did, I think it was Nick Curran was the director.
Yeah.
He pointed a like a laser pen.
All right. So look at this.
Said, look at this. You're looking up at Gallifrey, which has been lost.
Yeah.
But the other thing they did, and obviously the camera sort of zooms into Matt's face.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
And the other thing they did, they played this really nice, calming music. It was this beautiful music. I don't think they used it in the final edit, but it just gave you that.
That's interesting
Because
because
it was MOR. It wasn't. They weren't
Yeah.
filming for sound.
You'd think. I mean, I think that rarely happens on
Yeah.
some sets because if it's a pop video, yes, you've got to have playback, but it's nice that they did that.
It was just to
To
get the
sort of
actors
get
in
the
the mood.
vibe, yeah.
Instead of just saying, "Oh, pretend you're really wistful because you've seen Gallifrey again," they played this music, and you could sort of feel the emotion.
Well, yeah, it's quicker,
It was
isn't
really-
it?
yeah, it was really, really good.
I went to Tunisia. I've been 4 times to see all the Star Wars locations.
Oh right, okay.
And the first time we went, a friend of ours had a little Walkman type CD player, and we were waiting for the sun to go down on Luke Skywalker's homestead, etc.
Yeah.
And we were a bit
It's just that
annoyed
classic
that there was
shot,
only
isn't
the one and not 2.
Yeah, well.
But we were quickly passing this around. He said, "Play the track called Binary Sunset."
Yeah.
And when you got that, you feel the emotion welling up inside you,
Yeah.
because the sun is actually, you can see it moving, going just over the horizon.
Yeah.
But with the music, it just
Yeah.
magnifies it so
Yeah,
much. So that was a nice thing. But before we start wrapping up,
Yeah.
let's go back to everyone's favourite subject, Daleks.
Yeah.
You have Daleks in your film.
I do.
How many Daleks have you got in your film?
Various Daleks in different scenes, but the initial pre-title sequence, we had 2 movie Daleks. We had a Planet of the Dalek drone, and then on the second day's filming, we had the same Planet of the Dalek drone with a silver chase Dalek.
Okay. Let's give a shout out to the guys because we do know them.
Yeah,
So we've got Ben as Dalek Decimus,
yeah, which is the black.
the
Movie
black and
Dalek.
gold Peter Cushing.
Yes. Simon James was in a red Dalek Invasion of Earth Dalek.
That was nice. That was a nice one.
Joe Nagel came down from Liverpool and stayed with me.
Wow.
He was in Planet of the Daleks,
Okay.
and then Ben May brought his silver Chase Dalek.
Right.
And the good thing about when Ben came down, he said, "Oh, by the way, I've got a TARDIS police box if you ever need to borrow that."
And you needed
And
it,
at
didn't
that
you?
point,
And
I had
then-
no idea what, we were thinking of doing it with miniatures and foreground perspectives and things like that, because I thought, how do I get
It's a big
how do I-
build, yeah.
Yes, it's to get people to bring down. So so when
It
you
was a
see
twofer.
the police box, it's his police box as
Brilliant. Now I don't know the last two guys, Ben and Joe, but
Yeah,
obviously-
Joe made quite a few Daleks over the years, and that's
Right.
what he did. So he's made like the White Imperial Dalek.
Nice.
He's made a few for other people. Yeah, really nice guy and very, very talented artist.
Yeah,
as well.
I bet.
Very talented artist.
And did you get inside any of the Daleks? Did you get a chance?
Yeah, there was a. We did. We just Ben, who was the Black Dalek, also brought down his.
Dalek Vex, which is like a silver and blue one.
Yeah, sort of Doctor in the Dark's movie Drone.
That's right. Yeah.
And another chap who's got his own Dalek, Ben John, came down and
Yes.
went in that. But there was something wrong with the caster on that.
Can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
I want to get a plug in here.
Okay.
Dalek Decimus. What's Ben John's Dalek called?
Alan.
Dalek Allen. The Simon James is the red one. Dalek Drax. You're right.
Yeah. It's good that they've all got names now.
Well, yeah.
I don't.
There's one called Skeleton, which is great.
Yeah, he filmed with us.
At least those three.
Yeah.
I have designed their pull-up banners. So when you go to a convention, you see these Daleks with the pull-up banners.
Yeah.
They have commissioned me to get photos and do the artwork and the logos and everything. So that's my big plug. So I'm indebted to those guys for coming to me for the job, etc., etc. But if you have a Dalek and you want a pull-up banner, I'm the guy to talk to. I need to work.
Yeah, I did get inside the movie Dalek Drone.
Was it for filming? Did you actually play
film,
a Dalek?
yeah. Simply because I'm sure Ben John won't mind me saying, but he's quite a big guy, and there was a problem with the caster. So when we were pushing it on a sheet of ply, it was sort of dipping down and stopping.
Okay.
So we had so in the scene it had to move past camera. So we came up with the idea that I'm probably a bit lighter.
Yeah.
So and I knew what the scene needed. So they shoved me in the Dalek, and I literally just pushed past camera, and it seemed to work okay. But of course, I have played a Dalek on TV.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Have you?
Yeah, I was in the Peter Capaldi two-parter as a Dead Planet Dalek.
This is the one that Missy was in, and he's spending most of his time talking to Davros.
That's it. Yeah.
I love that episode.
Yeah.
I think Davros was done really well there.
Yeah.
I'm
I
a bit-
always believed that he turned.
Oh, he
turned
would.
good.
He sold it.
Yeah.
I'm still torn about whether Davros should have been able to open his eyes or not, because you always had the idea that they were fused shut.
Yeah.
But he opens his eyes. But the laughing and the tears and everything. Such a good,
Yeah,
good
it was
episode.
good.
But the fact of Missy's playing it up or whatever amazingly well. Capaldi gets to ride around in Davros's chair. Where did you get the only chair on Skaro?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
He wasn't on set.
That's a shame.
Because my scenes were in the control room with Missing Clara when they shoot.
And you were a
Missing-
Dead Planet original.
I was Dead Planet, which was a static prop brought over from the Experience. And what they did, they cut out a circle in the bottom. And it was really.
I was going to say, because nowadays anyone who builds a Dalek has an electric wheelchair in there.
A lot of them do, yeah.
And they're great fun, because I had to go at Dalek Blitz, and I was riding around in that, and it was just all the fun, because you're just sitting there.
Well, this was.
Was this like old school with a bench, and you just
Yeah,
push
but it
around
actually
on your
wasn't.
feet?
It wasn't actually fit for purpose because obviously when you move it pushing your feet, you've got the whole of the bottom.
Yeah.
But obviously, this was a prop which they tried to cobble it.
So they had to cut a hole.
So they cut a hole, but they cut a small hole. So really, you're literally
You're
just
shuffling,
shuffling. So you couldn't get any. Quite often they said, "Oh, can that Dalek move a bit faster?" And I was going,
Well, I can't move my
I
feet.
literally can't think. And the other thing was, for people who don't know how these things work, they're not particularly high tech. You've got a stick, a stick which turns the head and also pulls the eye up.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have that. They hadn't put this in at this stage. All I had was a button for the lights
Yeah.
and the gun and whatever. So every time I wanted to move the head,
You had to reach up.
I had to sort of scrape my elbow up and reach up and then scrape my elbow back, and it was really claustrophobic in there. I really had to go into my Zen place.
Yeah.
Not to go, get me out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, they did take it off in between scenes, but it was uncomfortable. I got to admit, even though it was a childhood dream to be in a Dalek one and play a Dalek. They as soon as you get them, you think, oh yeah, they're not the most comfortable places.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I did a second day on it, and by that time they had put in the stick, so it was a lot easier. But it was, it wasn't, and basically sort of said, right, just pick a Dalek and get in it, So I thought, well, I'd love to be in the Dead Planet Dalek.
Okay.
I could have picked a better one, I think, if, in hindsight. But
Apparently you get into an NSD.
Yeah.
And it's like leather chairs, air conditioning, cup holder, coffee machine.
Yeah, and they're a lot bigger, so you've got a lot more room. I mean, those guys were just literally moving, and there's me shuffling along,
edging the thing along. Old
yeah,
school.
but I did it. It was fun,
Yeah.
and like I said, Peter Capaldi wasn't on it that day, but he's such a Doctor Who fan. He would just come in and spend time.
Just
so he
to
actually
see
came up to me and started speaking to me, saying, "Oh, you look great. You look like Mary Quant because of the '60s thing." So yeah, that was nice. It was nice. And I'd met him before on another Doctor Who. And again, he wasn't due in till later, but he just came in and just shook everyone's hand on set.
Yeah,
He's a really nice guy. Really nice guy.
I think if you enjoy the gig so much, especially if you're a Doctor Who fan, Peter Capaldi's like, I'm not going to be the Doctor. I'm doing it by Peter Capaldi voice. I'm not going to be the Doctor forever, so I may as well come in and enjoy as much as I can.
Well, of course,
and hassle the extras.
Of course, when he was filming Doctor, they put him up in a hotel or an apartment in the Bay. So obviously on a Saturday when he wasn't filming, he's probably just twiddling his thumbs. So quite often he would go over to the Doctor Experience and sign photos and have photos. And
wow.
Just because that's the sort of guy he was.
Because it's a finite, very few Doctors go past the 3-year mark.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, this has been a very interesting chat. Is there anything you would like to get out there that people may not know, or anything you want to put out, like where to see stuff, how to contact you, your socials, or anything you're looking forward to in the future after the Scorpion film comes out?
So if people want to come onto our site, it's just Facebook site, Doctor Who Meets the Scorpion. It's fairly easy to find on a search.
Links in description and on screen.
We do have an Instagram page, we do have a Twitter page, but I rarely update it because
Twitter's not nice anymore.
I just can't deal with like 3 socials. I can deal with one.
Tell me about it.
And I just forget to do it. So we do hope to do a sequel. I think the film will be well received because I've seen how good it is, and I think it'll bridge that gap. I think the last 2 years of Doctor Who have been well received by some people, not by others. I think it's been
and it's like I said in one of my previous videos. This feels like the Wilderness Years Part 2.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a slight hiatus of. I've heard from some people it's a year, some people it's 2 years, some people saying no, it'll be next year, it'll be next month.
I think so.
Blindly optimistic.
Look, even if they commissioned something today, it would still be 2 years.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, they haven't commissioned anything.
And we've got we should make, every Doctor Who fan should make use of the time we've got to do like back in the 80s and the 90s where we can actually do more fan films. We didn't have smartphones then. Fan films were done on camcorders.
Yeah.
And I reckon your sequel, it would be nice to have Cybermen, and I do know a few guys with Cybermen costumes, but I'm never going to get to play a Cyberman, Phil.
No.
So Sontarans, I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know a lot of short people, especially up here in Wales.
Yeah, well, I was the same, yeah.
I will throw a hand grenade at you. I will be one of those posh Sontarans.
I think that's one of the great things about playing the Doctor is that, if you always had to play James Bond, unless you're 6'2", dark, good looking, you're not gonna, even in a fan film.
The Doctor could be anything.
Doctor could be any shape or height, so that's the great thing, even short, ugly men like me can play the Doctor. Hopefully we will do a sequel. I think it'll be well received. It's certainly ticking that box for people who want Doctor Who to go back to a more of a scary, almost like the Hinchcliffe.
It's more sort of. I mean, obviously, there's a nice sort of for people of a certain age who remember the classic series. I mean, just watching what you've showed me, the footage you showed me in the trailers and stuff, going back to a classic kind of feel, even with. I mean, yours borrows a little bit on the Peter Cushing aesthetic as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, we brought that into it.
Because there are fans that don't like Doctor abbreviated to DR, but it's like it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
But it's a comforting sort of it's like a warm hug going, oh, classic Who, this is how we like it, you know. Yeah, I think it will be well received, and I think
so.
it'll have everything. Like Dolly Parton says, you're always going to have your knockers, but but I think the ratio of people liking it as opposed to people hating on it.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're going to get idiots who just don't even know what you are or what you're doing or what the film is, and they'll just hate on it anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it'll be more well received than not.
Yes, definitely.
And I think, I mean, like I say, from what I've seen, I did some work on a BBV video many years ago. I've done a video about that, Cyberon.
Right.
And, you know, in that era of camcorder Doctor Who fan films, there's good and bad, you know.
Yeah.
But now the quality's gone up so much, and I think yours is going to be a nice modern addition to that kind of fan oeuvre.
Yeah,
is the word I'm looking for.
it's sort of like a mashup, because we, for a very short time, we did toy with, because we were trying to aim for that classic feel. Do we film it in 4:3?
Yeah.
But I just felt the 16:9 ratio. We didn't want to go to proper widescreen, 2.35. So we went down the 16:9 route, which is what modern Doctor Who's filmed in. So by that very nature, you don't see so much.
Okay.
But it's always.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? For most shots, it's sort of there.
Well, this is the whole William Hartnell used to do that.
Yeah.
Because he said your hands are always going to be in shot.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a weird mashup that you've got the feel of the old series, but filmed
in a modern
way,
kind of
which I think is great. It's the sort of best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people are gonna like it. I mean, we've even done stuff like, you know, rather than use a CGI spaceship, for instance, we've gone back to model work.
Yeah.
So you know it's a model, but it's that charm that it's physically there.
Yeah.
You know, we might put a CGI background on it.
Well, you know, I had a practical model for my spaceship.
Yeah.
And some people said the CGI on that spaceship's terrible. I'm like, it's a practical model, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get into the minutiae again of all this stuff, it's been awesome to talk to you. Thank you for coming all the way down here and all that stuff. And if you ever need the master,
right, yeah, because you do your master.
Yes, Doctor, I am the master, and you will obey me. I mean, this is the hair. Unfortunately, is for this film. I can't get my hair cut because I'm supposed to be a bit Tom Hanks castaway.
You do look like the classic master.
When I did the final game audio, where I played the master in 7 or 8 episodes. It was supposed to be to celebrate what would have been the 100th birthday of Roger Delgado, and I was the same age. I was 55 years old, the same age as Roger. Obviously, 55 back in then, people looked a bit older, weirdly enough, thank goodness. But I have pestered Big Finish so much. I think Nick Briggs probably cringes every time he hears the name Terry. Yeah, not that guy again. But they haven't cast the Delgado master. They've used John Culshaw once or twice. But his master is very gruff. He's like this. And I was like, his Anthony Amy is fantastic.
Right.
But I think I got him beat on Delgado.
Oh, good.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. The thing is, when I was doing my audition for the final game, I wanted to do the Brigadier. Because I thought, I never tried doing the master. I thought, I can't do that. Yeah. So I was like, 5 rounds rapid, Doctor. That kind of thing. I'll grow a moustache, but it's all audio anyway. It's like, you there, chap with wings, 5 rounds rapid. Splendid, fellows. But that's just me doing a posh voice. Yeah. So Chris, the American director, got me onto the Zoom call with the person playing the John Pertwee Doctor, and said, Could you read this scene out between you? And this American person doing John Pertwee's Doctor was absolutely amazing. When you hear it, you're like, is that not John Pertwee?
Yeah.
Best you've ever heard, right? They've since retired from voice acting, as far as I know.
That's a shame.
Lots of reasons, but I'll go into it. So we did this scene, and Chris said, "Can we stop for a second?" I was like, "What's my?" He goes, "I've got chills all over my body. It's like listening to Roger Delgado talking to John Pertwee. It's an amazing scene." I'm like, "Do I really sound like the Master though?" He said, "You do so much." I'm like, "I don't think I do, because I'm just doing a posh voice, Doctor, like this." And my good friend Sean Russell at Candy Jar said to me, "No, you don't sound like Roger Delgado. I'm just being honest." It's fair enough. So then Sean goes and listens to Dan Hadley's Type 40 podcast, not knowing that I'd done an intro jingle saying, "You're listening to Dan Hadley's Type 40 podcast, and you will obey me." And Sean said, "Now, whoever's doing the Master on that is doing a brilliant Delgado." I said, "That's me!"
Yeah.
Because he had that disconnect of
Yeah.
not realizing it was me. And then, I mean, I can't hear Roger Delgado. When I see clips of Delgado, I think, "That doesn't sound like me." But we all sound different in our own heads.
We do, yeah. But it's, it doesn't have to be exact. It just has to give that essence.
In certain things, yeah. And I've had a lot of people on YouTube and that say good stuff about me, which just, it's not like I need the praise. It's more like, it's just the confirmation that you're somewhere in the ballpark,
Yeah.
in the right thing.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that, I mean, from what I've seen of your Doctor, he fits in the ballpark, and that's really what you want to go for, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah, there's always that worry when you play it. Do you try and go too eccentric? Do you try and go too David Tennant, too Tom Bacon? I think
every I mean, even the professionals have to work out, how am I going to play this? Because
yeah.
when John Pertwee got the role, he was famously told, "Just be John Pertwee."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm a character actor. I don't know how to be John Pertwee."
Yeah.
And same with Peter Capaldi. He started off very gruff and not very likable.
Yeah,
And-
which was a script thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I
It wasn't
watched
the way,
it.
I don't think
I
that's
was like,
the way
this is what they were doing with Colin Baker, if you
Yeah.
remember. And it's like,
That
well,
didn't really work then.
no. And I was like, I've seen Peter Capaldi in interviews. He should be more like himself, which is a lot warmer.
Because he's really charming.
And grow your hair longer. And
Yeah.
they did in the end.
They did in the end.
And I think he worked better that way.
Yeah. So I think, I think I took that on board. So I'm basically playing myself, but
What percentage is Philip Roy and which percentage is
Well,
hints of other doctors?
that's a tough one, isn't it? Because the Doctor is always, there has to be a slight eccentricity. It's like alienness to them,
Yeah.
which is the Doctor. But then the sort of, I suppose 85% is
It's got
yourself.
to be yourself. yeah.
Because I think that's the same with any acting role. Unless you're really, if you're trying to be a method actor where you're going completely against the way you deliver your lines, the way you speak, the way
Yeah.
the intonation in your voice, then you're making a lot of work for yourself.
Yeah.
Because no one's, Anthony Hopkins. A lot of it is Anthony Hopkins, isn't it? In the way he
the
speaks.
greats, Jack Nicholson, Christopher Walken, etc. They bring themselves to the screen, and I think
And then,
that's
so I would say, like most actors, it's sort of like 70-80% themselves, and then that 20% of who the character is.
affectations on top.
Yeah. And obviously, we do, I do nods to the different Doctors. There's a bit where I do that, and
Yeah.
there's a bit where I do that, and even a bit of Pertwee,
Oh
Back
yeah,
of the
yeah,
neck.
yeah.
But it doesn't become something I do all the time. It's not an act. It's not Royal Kelly's doing his Pertwee again.
It's
not
just
that.
like a little
It's a little
homage.
nod,
Yeah,
to the Doctors, because it is set. It's not a, it's not a new Doctor. He is, I suppose, after. Certainly, I think when we started filming, the Gatwood Doctor hadn't come out yet. So it's certainly after the Jodie Doctor and after the Gatwood Doctor.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, I suppose people have to judge, but.
I think
Yeah.
they'll enjoy it. I think they'll enjoy it. You've done you like you said, you were very ambitious. You bit off a lot, and you've actually nailed it. And I think you've done an awesome job.
Oh,
and I
thank
can't wait to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest, Philip Roy. All the way through this last 20 minutes, I'm like, I'll get up here and it'll say I haven't recorded.
Well, we'll just have to do it
Please
again.
tell me it's still recording. Well, there you go for an epic hour-long interview with Philip Roy. I'm, as you can probably tell, very excited to see the full movie of Doctor Who Meets the Scorpion, which should be out very soon. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your kind comments. This has had a lot of views. Well, part one certainly has. And I'll be doing more interviews like this in future with other people, including you, if you want to be interviewed by me, either in person or via Zoom. If you've got something interesting to talk about, drop me a line and we'll talk. Until then, I'll see you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye then.